always great to see our partners, especially when we travel across the globe. So always very fun, always very fun.
Oh,
Yeah, so I guess Randy, today you're gonna have, I guess, me covering first part of this call.
oh,
Our CEO is actually busy with our SVP, and so I do believe that a bit later on, we're gonna have Ifra and Reza be able to take over because yeah, today's actually my birthday. But you know
I
what? I actually, boy, spending it with all of you here.
yes, happy birthday. First of all, first and foremost, let's wish our youngest millionaire, Renee Liao, a very, very happy birthday, a blessed birthday, and wishing you, you know, all the best throughout the years to come. All right, let me just do a introduction of Renee. Renee Liao, we all know him. He's no stranger to us. He's a champion of champions as far as I'm concerned. But he graduated from the University of Toronto in software engineering and worked for IBM and TELUS and was earning 80,000 a year salary. He was introduced by his sister and now the company's youngest millionaire, a lifestyle director for who qualified for the luxury car program and drives a prepaid luxury car from a company, a $200,000 Tesla P90D. Wow. He has reached 100,000 a month in earnings and more shockingly with only 7,000 people. His team now is over 28,000 people in over 110 countries around the world. He is happily married after proposing to his wife Heidi with a $47,000 Ferry Morse 21K gold ring now worth $80,000. They have two young boys, Rex and Leon, and is able to travel the world with his family. He's just made a recent purchase building his custom $5 million home. Wow, wow, wow. And he's here to support us and train us. Renee is a founding member, shareholder, and sits on the company's CEO advisory board. He has also received the highest award in the company, President Cup Award, twice. Wow, Renee. And not only that, I think we know him even for more than that. He's been a mentor to many of us and a great leader wherever he's been. He's been to Singapore, and now recently I met him in Vancouver. He's been an absolutely, absolutely amazing leader. All right, Renee, the floor is yours.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Randy. Of course, it's always great to see you. You know, you're also a globetrotter, whether I'm seeing you in Singapore, then it's somewhere, in Vancouver, in Toronto. Again, and we definitely appreciate you supporting us and being at the event, of course, in Vancouver. And of course, like again, a very, very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are in the world. Yeah, you know what? Today I had a great day, and I think one really suiting topic for tonight is a video I just put up actually on my social media, like my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and that is really how to live every day like it's your birthday. And I think one of the most biggest things that I'm just so blessed to have today. And again, for those who don't know, I've been in this company now for almost 18 years. I was studying in computer science at U of T downtown campus here in Toronto. And when I graduated, of course, I worked for IBM for a few years, and then for TELUS for a few more years. And I had a pretty decent income, like 17 years ago, earning $80,000 a year. 17 years ago was a pretty good income. But you know what? I knew that it wouldn't let me live every day as if it was my birthday. And what does that mean? Like, can you imagine, like usually on your birthday, for a lot of people, maybe not all of you, but I think for a lot of people, you kind of treat your birthdays like that's a special time of the year. Like, it's your day. And it's interesting because Heidi has always noticed that I particularly kind of care more about birthdays. Whereas for Heidi, like my wife Heidi, she doesn't really care so much about her birthdays. And so she's reading and she came across this post that said, people that care a lot about their birthdays now probably didn't feel much love when they're younger. And I don't know. I mean, I know my parents definitely loved me. They spent a lot of time with me, but definitely during my birthdays, we'd have, special gatherings, that kind of stuff too. Um, and we're talking about this today. We're having brunch together, just me and her. And it kind of came up, I think different people just kind of treat birthdays differently. You know what I mean? Like how many of you treat birthdays like a really important day? I know, and how many of you don't really care so much about your birthdays, right? But I guess the whole point of this discussion is for most people, like a birthday is a day that you just do what you want to do, right? It's supposed to be your special day, right? Go buy something special for yourself or take the day off, go and travel. Yeah, pamper yourself, go to the spa, I don't know, get a manicure, a pedicure, get your hair done, maybe have a party, right? Maybe have that extra special meal, get that delicious wagyu, or that, I don't know, this what do this giant T-bone steak or porterhouse steak, or yeah, buy a gift for yourself. Maybe you're gonna have a special, a few extra drinks, and try maybe open a special wine bottle. Maybe you had some special cigars or something. Like you kind of do usually what you probably wouldn't do on a regular day, right? And so, but imagine if every day could be like that, because you're financially free, because you're not tied down to being at a job. And most people, have jobs, right? But imagine not having to go to one. I remember when I first got into the business, and actually for myself, I was 27 years of age when I launched into Opulence. But, I had already been in that business mindset, wanting to have a different life. Probably early on, I'd say even in like my university days, like I hated studying. And I think at the same time, I always thought ahead. I thought, okay, well, if I graduate and I start working, well then what, right? And yeah, it was kind of fun working a little bit and your first job and all that good stuff, right? But really quickly, after working for a few months, a few years, you start to realize, this JOB thing, which a lot of people, it means just over broke. But this JOB thing for a lot of people, you don't really enjoy what you do. Um, and even if you really did enjoy what you did, if you had to show up to work to pay your bills, then you're still kind of confounded and constricted in some sense, right? Like it'd be different if you could do what you love doing and not have to worry about paying the bills. That's two different things now, right? Yeah, so I think for me though, just at a early young age, I've always been looking at ways to just have that different lifestyle. And the biggest thing for me was being able to not have a full-time job. Like I would do anything if I could have enough money coming in, passively on the side that I could live off of this other income and not have to work and spend my time doing something else that I really enjoyed that could have massive income potential. And that's what I found here at Opulence Global. In my video today, I kind of talked about this whole concept of retirement. And for a lot of people, like, let me ask you guys, right? What is retirement to you? If you can, I like to make all my trainings very interactive, right? And kind of drill in deep to the brain and maybe spark some sparks and get some old rusty, gears turning. But to you guys, what is retirement to you? So let me know, folks, in the group chat or the chat box. Yeah, like what is retirement to you? Okay, like for most people, okay, here we go. Thank you for your inputs, team. Maria says it's freedom. Love that. Retirement is that freedom to choose, freedom to work if I want to be able to create, yeah, to travel. So I'm seeing a lot of freedom answers here. Someone said enjoying life after working. So let's pause there. Enjoying life after working. So retirement for in this situation, enjoying life after working. So I would pose a question back to you and ask, well, what if you could enjoy life right now rather than waiting till after you're done working? And then because on that term, is there a timeline when you're going to retire? And I recall when I was younger, my parents always talked about this magic number 60 or 55. When I'm 55, I'm going to retire. When I'm 55, I'm going to retire, right? Yeah, for sure, right? Better enjoy right away if possible. Because a lot of people, like it's like, even my parents, would talk about retirement as this number, like 60 years of age. And that's why I recall back in those days, maybe if you recall this, then you're probably my age or a bit older. But this whole thing was Freedom 55. Companies made their company slogan or their name on Freedom 55, which meant we're going to help you have that freedom at age 55. And then it became, 60 and then 65. And then the average age of retirement became 67 and then 70. And what's so messed up right now is that not only is this age of retirement getting later and later and later, what's actually happening is people are actually coming out of retirement and going back into work. Like, how sucky could that possibly be? Imagine that, right? Like, you retired and you're thinking, no, I've done my time. I'm going to retire. I'm good to go. And then suddenly people are coming out of retirement, not because they want to work. Like today, like today is my birthday and we had, well, yesterday we had a nice fancy dinner. And then today we'll be golfing, but it's too cold. So then, of course, we had a nice brunch with Heidi and I know, and dropped off the kids at school. And then we went to Costco to get some more supplies. And then we went to two other grocery stores to keep buying stuff, to make for tonight. And we had steak and Wagyu steak. Great. But at Costco, I seen this guy working there now, the one at Elgin Mills and Leslie, if you know what I'm talking about, the same old white guy with white hair, always at the front door checking your receipts. And I'm pretty sure he didn't think when he was younger that one day retirement would be him standing at a Costco all day long, checking people's receipts and drawing the line on the receipt. Could be Walmart. And so that's where, to me, retirement, like most of you have agreed upon, like my definition of retirement in some ways is when you make enough money passively or residually that you don't have to worry about going to a job. Your bills are paid, extra money's coming in, you can travel when you want, buy what you want, but at least you have that freedom of not being forced to go to work, be told when to take your break, when to use the bathroom, right? When to go for lunch, when to go and travel. Like that to me is proper retirement. So you can retire at any age because we have the right vehicle, of course, with Opulence Global to go and do that. So what I did, I guess because of my background in computer science, and I kind of enjoy crunching some numbers, was I wanted to figure out what it would take for me to make $5,000 a month in residual income. And this is part of like your financial planning. So if you haven't done this yet, I'm glad that you're on this call tonight because maybe you should do it. Maybe you should, talk to your My Five and say, "Hi, My Five. Out of curiosity, if I want to earn $5,000 a month, or whatever that number is, to allow you to be able to retire comfortably, or maybe you already are retired or semi-retired, but you want more money, pick that number that you want, and then figure out in reverse, I guess, engineering, how much would it take in the business to generate that kind of income." And the way that I did it, because there's so many bonuses, right? We got the wholesale profit, we got the variance bonus, we got the car bonus, we got the MGRS bonus, we got the commission boost, all these things here. What I actually looked at was purely from the residual income, only from the binary commissions. So what I looked at was not including all the other bonuses, because if that came, that would be extra money on top, like icing on the cake, right? What I looked at was just based upon the team that I have, the size of the team and their clientele, and based upon these people just simply ordering products or putting away shopping credits on a monthly basis, how many people would I need to generate X amount of dollars? And so I have tried a few other businesses before this one, and somewhere within MLM, some weren't. And I was always trying to calculate what I had to do in that business to generate this residual income. Because again, if you don't have a target, how will you ever reach there? How will you judge if you're on track or not if you haven't set yourself a target? So question number one is have all of you set your promises? What's your promise? What's your promise? And right now, if you have a chance to, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and there's three things I want you to write down. Three things, very simple. You know, anyone can do it. I give you guys 30 seconds. Go and grab a pen and a paper. Trust me, you want to do this because it's going to change a lot of things for you. And the first thing you're going to write down is that target promise. How much do you want to earn per month in this business realistically? So don't say, I want to make $1 million. Let's try to be more realistic. Pick a number that will allow you to quit your job. Okay, so if it's 5,000 a month, and the nice thing is, if you're paying taxes in Canada, let's say you're making 5,000 a month, after tax in Canada, so you're making maybe 8 or 9,000 per month, and then you're bringing home $5,000 afterwards, then you actually don't need to make that much when you're self-employed because you can write off all your expenses. In other words, making $8,000 to $9,000 pre-tax and then bringing home $5,000 post-tax, you can probably make $5,000 here or just a bit more, but because you can expense everything, you still bring home the same $5,000. So you pay very little tax. So let's say the first thing the first thing you write down, I'm going to type it here, is how much money do you want to make on a monthly basis, realistically speaking. And you have that number down. Great. And by the way, this is something that someone taught me that really changed my business. So I hope you will do this because I think it can really change yours. That's the first question. Can anyone guess my second question? Because some of you probably heard this training from me before. So the first question was, how much money do you want to make on a monthly basis? Okay. The second question, if anyone can guess what that is, I'm going to type it here in case someone types it and then I say it too fast, is so Shauna, yeah, actually that's part of where I was kind of getting to. But yes, Maria has heard this training before. Yeah, thank you, Tim. Is how many hours per week are you willing to work to achieve that income? Because I can tell you exactly what you have to do, but we have to make sure we know how much time you're going to commit to changing your life, to reaching that retirement earlier. So we got to know from you, well, how much time can you commit? So that's why the first two questions, sometimes I get the most funniest answers. I want to make, $80,000 per month in the next 2 months. Like, I don't know, play the lottery then. It's so unlikely, right? So we had to be realistic with our answers. So again, the second question is, well, how many hours per week are you willing to work? So for example, I knew I had a 9 to 5 job. I was already working 40 hours per week plus the driving time, right? So, but of course, you only have 24 hours in a day and you have to sleep. So, you know, what I put aside was aside from my 40 hours per week, I was a bit extreme. I said any other hours I have less sleeping, I would put into the business. That meant, no more partying unless maybe like once a week kind of thing. And maybe, when I'm done my business, I quit doing all this gym workout stuff. I do like more effective 10-minute workouts. There's always a more efficient way to doing things, right? I stopped going dragon boating. I stopped, some of my volleyball. I stopped golfing because I was eating up more money, right? And so I stopped a lot of things because I knew the importance of what I was trying to build for myself. I'm 44 now, and I'm blessed to have the life I have today. Like I wish all of you could live this kind of lifestyle. It's just super amazing, right? So for you to get there, you have to be honest with yourself and let yourself know how many hours per week are you willing to work. because we can really help you debug or troubleshoot your business. If you're not making the income that you want to be making in 6 months to a year, we can look back, look at what you wrote down today for how many hours per week you're going to commit, and we can ask you, well, how many hours did you actually work? Are you spending the same 8 hours a week on social media and not really doing much for you know what? Like we can really dig down to see if number one, are you really working your business? And if you're not, then only one person to blame, that's yourself. Or number two, are you actually doing work in the business, but you're not being effective at what you're doing? Now we can change and coach you and guide you through your My Five to make you more effective at what you're doing with your hours, right? And so that's the second question. How many hours per week are you willing to work? And again, this kind of as part of of course, the breakdown, we can figure out, like Shauna said here, how many partners do you need? It's not that hard. If you actually take your monthly income that you want to achieve, and then you divide it by 69, because that's the CV portion of the monthly 150. And we're being very conservative here. So whatever the income you want to make, divide by 69, that's how many partners that you need to have on the monthly smart buy, doing at least 150 per month. Some might do 250, some might do 450. Great. You're going to be ahead of what you're trying to build. Okay. So again, for those who don't understand, 150 PV per month is the most average basic amount that people will pay for their smart buy or smart buy. Okay. Again, CV is going to be 46% of PV. So 46% of 150 is 69 CV. So you can really divide essentially what you want to make by that number to figure out how many people do you need essentially. So I'll give you a more detailed breakdown later on. But the third question is the key question that I want you guys to ask. Okay, so what do you think is for those of you who heard my training before, what's the third question? Any guesses here on what's the third question that I'm going to ask here? Let's see if someone here actually knows. Aha. So how many years are you willing to put in? Yes, exactly. So however many years. So we ask that question because sometimes people say, well, Renee, I want to make, $5,000 a month, and I'm going to work 20 hours per week extra, but I'm going to do it for maybe like 6 months. Well, that doesn't really work either, right? Okay. So that's the other question, is ask yourself, well, how many hours do you need to be working to achieve that answer, right? Yeah, like how dedicated are you, right, to achieving this, right? How dedicated are you? And so those are the three questions I wrote down. And you know what? I actually put it as part of my. So I read this into this book, Think and Grow Rich, that you write down, what's your target and what you're willing to do, and you read it every morning and every night before you go to bed. And what that's going to do for you, in a subconscious point of view, is it's making you think of it more often. It's on your mind more often, and because it's always on your mind, guess what? You start to work towards those things. That makes sense? You start to work towards those things. And so I really hope that that is something that you will take to heart, that you will actually go and do, because that's how you basically get there. All right. So, so I'm going to show you one slide here to help you guys figure out exactly how many people you have to get to that income that you're trying to build. So can everyone see my slide here? Okay. It's showing the number of people on Smart Buy. Okay. So I'm going to write out here the calculation on how how did 235 become 1380? Okay, so here's what happens, all right? 235 people who are paying the monthly 150 is basically giving you 69 CV. So if you do 235, okay, times 69, what do you get? So 235 times 69, it gives me 16,000, okay, 215. All right. Again, we get paid roughly 8.5%. So if you take 235, which is number of people and VIP partners who are paying their monthly 150, times by 69, which is a CV portion of that 150, it gives you 16,215. Then you multiply that by 0.085, which is 8.5%, and that will give you roughly this answer here. I just typed it out. So that's how we got this answer. By having 235 people, your monthly residual income will roughly be about 1380. Now you could do a simple way and just double this number. So if you want to make $2,760, which is doubling this amount, you would double this to 470 people. And you can play around with those numbers too, right? So in other words, to work backwards, right? We simply have to. So let's say you want to make $5,000. Okay, what's the first step we're going to do if you want to figure out how many people you need to make $5,000? Well, we just figure out how much CV you need. So what you're going to do is you're going to take $5,000. Maybe I'll take a smaller number. I'll take $3,000. I think that's like the average income people make after tax. All right. So $3,000. Divide that by 0.085. So this divided by 0.085. I hope I'm not confusing people here. You can always do the easier way by just doubling the numbers or tripling the numbers that you see on the screen, right? But 3,000 divided by 8.5% means you need this much CV. This is my calculator. 35,294.1176 CV. And again, to figure out how many people I need, well, each person gives me 69 CV. So I take that 35,294.1176 and divide by 69. Divide that by 69, and I need 500 and roughly this. So again, so in this case, you make $3,000 per month residual income, not including any of the other bonuses, nothing else, not including people signing up, just from the monthly payments, you got to have 511 people. I was like, wow. Some people have that kind of team size in their first few months, the first year maybe. So 511 people to make you $3,000 per month for lifelong, forever residual income that will only grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, wow. Because 511, if it takes you 2 years, then you hit what's called exponential growth. Eventually, it gets easier and easier to build a bigger team. Why? Why do you think in the beginning it's a bit slower to build a team? And why do you think after a few years it gets much easier to build a team? What's that answer? Like I just kind of said it actually, but let's see if y'all. Yeah, thank you, Shauna. You're leveraging. It's duplication. You're not the only one that's building that team for you. That's the beauty of our business. You're not the only person building your own team. You have other people. Your team is in the business to build their own teams. So, I part of understanding our passive income is to think long term. Like think long term. Don't We have great bonuses. You can make a lot of money in the short term, but my focus was the long term. So again, whatever money you want to make, divide it by 0.085 and then divide that again by 69. And that's how many people you got to have in your team, you know, right? So if you want to make $6,000 per month, have a team of 1,000 people roughly. Again, I'm not saying that you only make 3,000 a month when you have those people. There's so many bonuses along the way. Again, wholesale profit, right? Fast start bonuses, MGRRS, variance bonus, commission boost, right? The car bonuses. Like you'll make a lot more than that. But I'm just saying the worst case scenario, that's what I was looking at. So to make $6,000 per month, I want to have a team size of about 1,000 people. But you're going to make a lot more than that. But we wanted to make sure that we set some strong foundation and we set a really strong target. And so this is part of my thing. So it's part of your promise to yourself is it should sound something like this. I, Renee Liao, in your case, you're going to say I in your name, commit to working this many hours per week for this many years to achieve this income and to grow my team size to this number. Something like that. You can make it very detailed. I will also commit to being on all of the trainings and stepping up to becoming a qualified trainer. Something like that. And you read it every day to yourself, morning and night. And it might sound funny to do that, but that's what I did. Didn't have to do it for too long either because it started to change the way I thought, the way I function. And all these bad habits of being lazy or putting things off, it just starts to go away because you're reconfirming what you want to achieve. And you probably feel guilty too. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing and you keep reading this to yourself, you realize, today I didn't do jack all. And tomorrow might be a different day. I hope it is for you. So anyhow, I know we also have, of course, some other incredible superstars on this call, LD4 Reza Mesgarlou and LD4 Ifra Hassan. And of course, you know what? I want to turn the call actually at this point in time over to them to take on over. I kind of got caught last minute by surprise to be on this call. It is my birthday, but you know what? I'm so happy to spend it with all of you guys today as well too. So of course, Ifra, I see that you're ready. Again, someone who has inspired so many people of all ages, of all genders. Especially I think that the female community and the younger community, who was again, if you don't know who she is just a superstar. She used to work for the Ottawa government in the tax department, and so it's just remarkable how someone at that young age decided to quit her job, in the middle of the pandemic where most people were just hanging on to the jobs. And she quit because, again, she had built up so much residual income that we're talking about that she no longer had to be in a job. So, of course, always a pleasure to have you here, Ifa. I feel like tonight's a very special night, right? We got so many LD4s doing this training. So I'm going to call over to you. And of course, have yourselves a wonderful evening. And thank you, Ifa, for taking over. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Oh my God, what an honor. What an honor to have you here on your birthday. It goes to show you exactly the kind of leadership that you are, the kind of leader that you are day in and day out, always here to support us, to guide us, to inspire us. We appreciate you so much. And I pray that you get to have many, many more years of happiness and success and doing big things, Renee. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
You're very welcome. Okay, you have a great call. Thank you, everyone. Again, I'll be on just off screen though.
Yes, go ahead, enjoy yourself. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Ophilus Nation, Forensic Nation. It's your sister Ifra Hassan here, coming to you live from Ottawa, Canada. Of course, I'm here with Reza as well, our top income earner, LD4. He's going to take over very soon as well. I just wanted to piggyback on what Renee has started. And it just got me thinking, oh my goodness, 6 years ago when I got started. Hello, Amrajit. Hello, my sister Karen. Thank you. Nafa Faron, welcome. Thank you everyone for your love and support. So it just got me thinking, oh my goodness, what was I able to do in order to get to where I'm at today and to continue to inspire to get to what Renee, our youngest millionaire, and Reza, and of course, to so much more, right? We're all at the end of the day going towards Royal Lifestyle Director. What I love about our opportunity is the fact that we're all on this journey together, right? Nobody has reached the top yet. That means it is open to all of us. And that makes me feel like, okay, I'm in the trenches, I'm as a soldier with everyone else, right? So the first question that Renee asked us is, to write down 3 things, right? I hope that you're all writing this down because it's so important. Remember, when you leave this training, they say about 86% of what we talked about leaves you, right? By the next morning, maybe you retain 2-3%. So right here, I'm taking notes, okay? So important that you do the same. So the first question Renee asked us is, how much do you want to earn a month to quit your job? Guess what? Without knowing the formula, that is exactly what I did 6 years ago. I wrote down exactly what do I need to do in order to achieve the financial freedom. Because for me, after I saw our compensation plan, there was no question about it, that this has the potential to replace my full-time income, right? So what I was told during training is that don't go only to replace your full-time income, go to double your income. So that's what I went. Guess what my target was? $10,000 a month. Yes. So that was the answer to the first question Renee asked us. How much do you want to earn in order to quit your job? For me, it was 10K. That's right, my sister Maria, 10,000 a month. Okay. The second question, again, without knowing this, I actually wrote this down. How many hours a week am I willing to put in order to earn 10,000 a month? Because at that time, remember, I'm at a 0. I'm starting at a 0 in experience, 0 in sales, 0 in everything. All I came with is a big heart and a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, right? I really believed in this. That's it. That's all I came in with. So those of you that are probably thinking, oh, she got there because, she knew this and that. No, 0 experience. Yes. Literally, when I did my first Facebook Live, I was shaking. Okay. I did not know what I was doing, but I did it. So if you're starting at a 0 today, congratulations. That is where I started. That's where all of us started. So that's the first thing. I wanted to earn 10,000. Now, the question is, how many hours am I willing to put in order to reach there? So I looked at my calendar. I was working 9 to 5 for the government. So I normally would get home at 6 p.m. So what did I decide to do? From 6 until I go to bed, Monday to Friday, I'm only going to do opulence. So that meant at least 3 hours, 6 to 9 p.m. Some days longer, right? 6 to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday. So do the math. 3 hours, 5 days a week. That's 15 hours, right? 15 hours. In forensic, our CEO teaches, if you are part-time serious, you need to be putting in at least 15 hours. But remember, I have this big goal of 10,000. So for me, 15 hours wasn't enough. I still have Saturday and Sunday. Guess what I did? I did full-time on Saturday and Sunday. Yes, that's 16 hours. Plus the 15, that's 31 hours a week, not including my full-time job. So if you add everything together, you're looking at about 70 hours a week. 40 hours on my full-time job, 30 hours or 31 hours to be exact on my opulence. Now, the last question. And I find that the first 2 is easier said, right? Maybe it's easier done at the same time. But this is where many people, I find, fall off the wagon. The last question Renee asked us, how many years are you willing to put in? Because at the end of the day, that is what it comes down to. So many people start something, right? So many people can be excited. One of my favorite videos that I listen to at least once a week is the Just Do It video, right? On YouTube, Just Do It, right? I forget his name, the gentleman, the Just Do It gentleman, okay? So what he talks about is almost anybody can start something. Almost anybody can be excited about something, but not many people can be excited about the same thing for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. That is why a lot of people fail in the last question. How long can you commit into this? For me, it was 2 years. Renee told us to be realistic. That's exactly what I did. Where many people is like, you know what? I tried it for 3 months, 6 months, a year, nothing is working. 2 years, day in and day out, day in and day out. Earlier, we had this amazing couple, our new LAP in Ottawa. And they were asking me, you know, Ifra, how did you do it? And I told them, this Tuesday tour is where I build my muscle. Every single week, as long as you do come and you bring a guest, you are going to get the result that you need, right? So day in and day out for 2 years. So what do you think would happen naturally, right? One of the first thing that I learned was the law of average, right? The law of average will kick in. Those of you that don't know the law of average, it's basically a principle that something which can produce results will produce those results over a certain period of time. It's almost impossible, okay? I am freezing, Reza says. Maybe it's your end, Reza. Is anybody able to hear or see me properly? Reza tells me I'm freezing. Yes?
No, very clear on my end, Ifra. All good on my end.
Thank you, my sister Rani.
Thank you.
All right. So over time, as long as you are consistent, it's going to work. So that is what I focused on for me. Am I putting in the hours every single day? Right? Do I have the patience? And speaking of patience, I did almost lose my patience. 6 months before I had my big, huge jump, I almost lost my patience. Reza can attest to it. Week after week, every Tuesday when we come, I'm telling Reza, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. What is going on? I'm not seeing the result. Ifrah continued to do it. So 6 months before that, before I had my big spike, we were in Toronto, and our CEO, we always say a CEO with a heart of gold, he actually invited a group of us from Ottawa to his mansion to dream build with him. And that is when I shared with him my frustration, that I was at the end of it all. I said I did everything I could. I qualify for MGRS every month. I'm presenting the opportunity every day. I'm talking to people every day, but I'm not seeing the result. What do you think our CEO said to me? The same thing Reza has been saying to me every single week. Ifrah, continue to do it. Keep going. Yes, my sister Shauna, hills and valleys. Yes. In life, there's this and there's this, right? There's this and this. To this day, I go through hills and valleys. But all I can remember is how did I get here? Is by being consistent, by being patient, by continuing to do it. Exactly, my sister Maria, to never, ever give up, right? Our SVB always says, failure should never be an option. There was no way I was going to give up. But as a human being, sometimes you get frustrated. So I told my RCO, I'm frustrated. I don't know what to do. He said, Ifrah, continue to do it. So I hang on. And of course, 6 months later, the pandemic happened. You all heard our LD4 Renee Liao told you, got to quit my government job. I remember March of 2020, they sent us home, the government. Everybody around me was crying. It was the end of the world for them. But for me, I was cheesing. I was so excited because my business is waiting for me. So while I have my desktop here, they actually moved our desktop here. I have my laptop here, and I'm doing both. 3 months later, June 2020, I hit my target. Yes. So it took me about 2 years, which is exactly the target that I had. So what do I want to leave you with before I hand it over to our top income earner, Reza, who's here as well in Ottawa? Honest to God, our system works. Our business works. I cannot say this any louder. So if you are sitting and you're going, this doesn't work, this is not for me, I promise you it works. I promise you it is for you. The question you want to ask is those 3 questions. Very, very simple. Very simple, right? Our SVB always says, look up from the neck up, right? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing every day, right? And what an amazing time to have this call, because as we know, we are in the last 90 days of the year, right? Come December 31st, everybody is celebrating for New Year's Eve, right? Everybody's welcoming 2015, 2025. Did I just take us back 10 years? 2025, right? How do you want to feel like come December 31st? Do you feel like saying, you know what? I did my best. I did everything I could, and be proud of yourself? Or are you going to sit there and say, oh my God, it's been another wasted year. It's been another 90 days, last run year. How do you want to go into 2025? That's what I want to leave you with. And with all the amazing events coming up, oh my goodness, you have every opportunity to close it out strong. To close it out strong. Right here, I have here. I'm dropping this off everywhere, telling everybody in Ottawa, you gotta come see our CEO. You should be doing that everywhere you are, whether you're in Winnipeg, whether you are, I think Vancouver just had theirs, right? I know Toronto, Niagara Falls are working on something. Do it. Get out there, talk to people, so that December 31st, you're going to welcome 2025 with a huge smile and looking forward to what's to come. All right. Now I'm going to call in none other than Reza Mesgarlou. There we go. Hi, Reza. So just going to give you a little introduction here of Reza. Many of you already know he's our top income earner, has been with the company since inception. He's no stranger to many of you. I always say here in Ottawa, we're so lucky because we get to see him more often, but he travels around the world, and he's here to inspire us and to share his side of what we talked about tonight. So Reza, without further ado, please take it over.
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Awesome. Well, I'm just going to basically touch on what you already heard, but my version. Basically, I'm going to take you back to 2008, the first tripod of belief training I did, right? And there was 3 areas to success in any industry, any network, right? And one of them was finding a solid company with solid products, which we have. Another one was understanding of the industry, what it is, and how amazing it is, which we have. The last one is the one I noticed that a lot of people have, if not all, most people have issue with, and that is belief in yourself, right? And this part is where you need to self-motivate. You need to work on yourself, personal development, whatever it takes for you in order for you to be able to make things happen for you, right? Make things happen for you. And this is where I remember I used to do this training a lot. I used to tell people at the beginning, it goes the same for everybody, right? When you start anything, it's 100% you, right? In order for me to get paid, when I got to work in 2008, August 1st to be exact, I was lucky I had positioned myself and so on and so forth. So my 2/3 of my business was built already in my absence. So all I needed to do the 1/3 and get paid. But still, for me to get paid, I had to do that 1/3. You had to start with my first prospect, my second prospect, my third prospect, my fourth prospect, my first member that joined, and their prospects. And I needed to build that. And you know what? Just to put things in simple terms, perspective is this. 100% of what we do initially is what reflects on what we get paid. 100%. Then you got someone good, you got an Ifra, you got a Renee, you work with them, you hold their hands and teach them if they're brand new to the industry. If they're not, then perfect. If they are, you just basically work with them. right? Our CEO says you literally move, like not move in with them, but you move in with them. You become your best friend, right? And this is where their success is utmost important in your longevity, in your organization, and in your pay plan. So initially, it's 100% of your income comes from 100% of your effort. As your team starts to grow and you start to duplicate, becomes 90%, then it becomes 80%, then it becomes 70%. I remember when I was saying, okay, I'm looking at my organization, the ones that joined this week and the last month, great. Hopefully I did something with them. Hopefully they joined for the right reason. Hopefully they're duplicating. And how do we duplicate? Following the system. We have a system that works. And if we follow that system and we are persistent and we focus on what we got to do, right? And keep doing it, not getting bored, not celebrating too early with whatever success we had by based on new people joining your business, but getting these people to duplicate, whether it's your customers, whether it's your people who join for the sake of getting a discount and doing some wholesale, some retail, or people who join to build an organization, right? As you start to mature, doing the right things day in and day out, never get bored of it, never become too fancy, keep it simple, and have it hard, best for them than, more for them than it is for yourself. Why? Because their success is your reflection and you're going to be taken care of at the end anyways, right? So it becomes to a point that if you're building a proper organization and if you have people who understand, we don't just have any product that anybody can buy anywhere, right? We understand the importance of a toothpaste. We understand a microcidal spray for those who travel, especially. Me, I love it on the plane, on the seat that I'm going to spend 12, 13, 14, even longer hours in, not knowing who was in that seat before me or months before me and 2 months before me, right? So if we understand the importance of our FOL, our divine, if we, today I went back to the past and I'm wearing my products. This is from pre-2008, okay? This watch, look at how beautiful the band is. And these are all pre-2010, right? So if we are product of the product, and you heard our CEO and many other leaders doing a training based on cost transitioning, right? Meaning using your own products rather than buying Giant Tiger or Walmart or Target or I don't know what superstore you have, where you're from, right? If you do that cost transitioning, starting with you first, and truly, genuinely explaining how important it is for your team to cost transition, what Renee shared with you guys early in terms of numbers, that's automatic. That's automatic. Some of you probably sitting there saying, well, the numbers Renee talked about I already have in my team, right? So how come I'm not getting paid that? Well, I tell you, I don't know what's the reason. Either they didn't get in and they didn't use their own products, they're not a product of the product. Otherwise, I can't see anybody trying our products, even if they're not a member anymore, which you have a lot of them, by the way, who still use the products, right? So cost transitioning alone will take care of all of that for you. Now, you got to make sure that you're product of the product, make sure that you do cost transitioning yourself, and make sure you talk about it. Make sure you understand. So it will become to a point that in 2008, 100% of what Reza did reflected in his pay. If you have 10 people launching LAP last week, guess what? That was enough for, I don't know, 10 cycles, whatever, right? So that was most of his pay. In 2009, less of a percentage of what I did reflected into what I got paid. 2010, a lot less than what I did reflected in my pay. It come to a point that almost 100%, 99.99, that's your target percent of what you get paid is from the beautiful organization that you built. When I say organization, I don't mean people who are just out there and go-getters. I'm talking people that understand the importance of these products, understand by simply cost transitioning various bonus, and if they're building a team, they understand that. And they will automatically, I mean, why wouldn't you not want to use your own products? Why would you not want to use the best there is, right? The best there is, okay? This is really all I want to leave you with. You have the best product in the planet. It is something that will not only help you now, but more importantly, for those who think they're healthy, there's a lot of people thinking, I'm healthy, there's nothing wrong with me, I am good. These kind of things that we hear about is not going to happen to me, right? But believe me, God forbid, when it happens, then it's going to be like, oh my God, I should have taken care of my health a little bit earlier, right? So that's all I want you to leave you with, guys. Get out there, talk about it. Make sure you do your cost transitioning and share this amazing opportunity and product line with the world. Doesn't matter if it takes you 6 months, 1 year, or 6 years. Not only you have used the best products in the world, not only you have been making extra money on the side, but there comes a time that we call traction, that your organization will have a Renee in it, will have a Ifra in it, will have a Henry in it, will have a Nancy, a Lucy in it, right? And that's when you're going to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe, look how much I got paid. It's happened to me. It's happened to many, many, many people. I remember when I hit 10K per week, it wasn't even me who recognized that. It was our LD2, Sean Singh. We're sitting at the office, out of office, and he's the one who says, oh my God, you're making $500. You're making $500. Sorry, a call came in, and that's what happens when people, when you get a call, it cuts you out. And he says, you're making $500 at the time. It was the cycle of payout was $500, $500 every 42 minutes around the clock. So yes, sir. Yes, ladies. Yes, everyone. That's how beautiful it is. So thank you so much. And back to you.
Wow. I'm lost for words. How amazing, right? I hope you guys got, like Ifra said, you've got your books out, you've got your notes taken, and we have had just a power-packed training this evening. It was filled with enthusiasm, inspiration, and facts, like how to get there. How can we get to LD4? I mean, the champions have spoken. So not to take too much of your time, everyone, I will actually just quickly summarize what Renee, Ifra, and Raza has shared with us. Renee has given us to get our target promise, and Ifra also spoke to us about the law of average. Keep consistent, keep going, be consistent, and the success will follow. And Reza has shared with us, we just have to believe in ourselves right now, because we have the company, we have the industry that's given to us. So now it's time for us to believe in ourselves and move forward and take that success that belongs to us. Have a good night, good afternoon, and good evening to y'all. Bye-bye for now. Till we meet again. Have a safe day, and to the billion.